Brooks stream. I know you want to talk about this.
Oh yes.
So how much of it did you listen to? So
I
Brooks,
watched.
let me just get the background
Okay,
here.
you give the
Brooks.
background.
So Brooks, we did a stream with Brooks. I don't know, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooks felt he was kind of baited into coming on, and I don't know, what do you call it when you
Maligned.
sneak attack somebody? There's
He
a
was.
a better word for it. Ambushed. That's what it was. He felt like he was ambushed. I told him the whole time. I said, "Listen, Sitch wants to come at you pretty hard. Like he wants to fully interrogate
There
you."
was no fucking ambush. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. I was like, and he's like, "Oh, fine, whatever. I'm not afraid." So, Sitch did go at him very hard. It was uncomfortable for me.
I went at him very hard.
Mostly because we had made an arrangement beforehand that we weren't going to show this video where
Which no one told me, by the way.
yeah, which I fucked up because I didn't tell Sitch that, and Sitch the whole time was, let's bring up the video, and I'm thinking, no, I didn't, gigged up. So we made it through. It was super uncomfortable. I think it was probably one of our most popular streams because everyone ended up calling me a Nazi afterwards for siding with. Well, I didn't really side with Brooks though. I was just trying to say, listen, well,
You're being a dirty fence sitter.
I was trying to stand by a friend who I felt had been wrongfully maligned. So.
Mm-hmm.
So Sitch said something in this stream that really got under Brooks's skin. Sitch said that white culture isn't a thing, that like calling it white culture really doesn't make sense. Like there are a lot of different cultures that are inhabited by white people. Generally,
there
not
are
all.
many cultures that are
Yeah.
inhabited by white peoples, but there's no unified white culture.
There's no unified white culture, and those cultures generally let minorities in. Like if you want to become British,
right,
you can immigrate to Great Britain. If you want to become American, you can immigrate to, like, America's the avatar for this. Like we're a nation of immigrants, they like to say.
Yes.
Sometimes the white nationalists like to say a nation of European immigrants. So I had a debate with him on this topic, and I took the position that white culture, like I took basically the position that we've laid out here, that there is no grand unified white culture, and that there are a lot of cultures that have white people, but even they don't define themselves by the color of their skin. Like that's the least interesting part about them.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, look, we've had Sargon on a million times. You hear him go on and off. He's like, fuck the French.
Yeah, totally.
Fuck the Germans.
Exactly.
Fuck their culture. Yeah. I want my Anglo-Saxon British culture.
Exactly. So how can you say there's a white culture when you literally have whites that hate other cultures that are supposedly in the same culture? I don't think a culture that hates another culture you could call inhabiting the same culture, right?
Right. No, but that's the whole point. Yeah.
Conservative and liberal, conservatives and progressive right now hate each other, and they have different cultures. But to say conservative culture are both white culture, it's like, what the fuck are you talking?
Yeah, that's a great point. You could say the liberal culture and the conservative culture in America is very different.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But they're both majorly populated by white people. So are they white unified culture? Like, well, what? Like, how does that work? Yeah. But see, the problem with the conversation is that you can make the point in 10 seconds as well as what, you just do. And then Brooks is just either too stupid to understand it or pretends to be too stupid to understand it. And the conversation doesn't move forward at all.
Well, do you want to take a position on that? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
do I take a position on is Brooks stupid or pretending to be stupid?
Yeah.
I think it's a little combination of two. I'll be enlightened centers here. I don't think he's the smartest person. Sitter. Yes, I don't think he's the smartest person, but I do think it's an act, because this is why I think it's an act. If you're just stupid, then presumably you wouldn't understand any complicated thoughts, right?
Well, you didn't understand anything I was saying.
Well, but wait a minute. You'd say something like a complicated idea or a nuanced idea, and the person would never get it, right? They'd only see the world in these very dumb, simplistic terms. But in our conversation on this channel, like one of us would say something that was nuanced or more complicated, and Brooks would understand it. Okay. but then he wouldn't understand the other nuanced and complicated idea that hurts his argument. So to me, it feels like a tactic.
Okay. He couldn't steel man my argument. I kept telling him, I'm like, listen, I'm just going to tell you the argument. You just repeat after me. And he wouldn't do it.
Because it's an act, because it's a persuasive form. I don't think it's very persuasive, but that's what he's trying to go for.
What's the motivation behind doing it this way? Just you think he's got like a conservative audience that wants to have this ethno-national component?
Because it works on some people.
Yeah. I did get a lot of people got mad at me for saying, like, there were people in the comments that were saying, you know, they could sum up Brooks's position and my position pretty handily, and they just said, you know, this is obviously Adam and Sitch's law. You know, they're arguing over definitions.
Stop it.
they don't.
Look at this. He's trying to steal my law. Look at this. He's trying to Zuckerberg me. Wow.
They don't. You know, these positions are very
Adam
clear.
Zuckerberg forever.
Why do we want to? Why do people want to argue over definitions so badly? I guess really he is saying this is the definition I want.
What do you mean why?
Well, people got really mad at me, like basically straw manning me and saying like, well, you don't believe in white culture. There is a white culture. And I'm like, okay, well.
So okay, but wait a minute. The reason Sitch's law exists, Sitch's law. 99% of all arguments are arguments about definitions.
Wait, that's Adam and Sitch's law, the one that you just said.
No, it's Sitch's law. As the reason for that existing is because 100% of all arguments are arguments where you're arguing your worldview. Okay, that's why people argue definitions.
Yes,
because everyone's coming from it like, well, if I have this opinion, and I'm assuming you have the same worldview as I do, how could you possibly have a different opinion than me? That's the way everyone approaches every argument. And that's the problem.
It's sad.
Right.
Everybody thinks other people are just like you, only in different bodies. And that's so far from the truth.
Yes, exactly. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny in the conversation when Brooks was like on the verge of tears, like, "You brought me on the stream and yelled at me."
What? I don't remember that.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
I don't even remember that. I got him close to crying because that means I won the debate if he was crying.
That is what that means. You did get him close to crying.
Everyone in the comments was like, "Oh, Brooks is so triggered by Sitch."
Well, if he was, and it's funny because you asked why is he doing it? And it's because it works. Because they were in, because I was in Brooks's chat for a while because I didn't realize we were streaming it, and I was seeing people agree with Brooks, and they would agree with him by parroting his stupid straw man.
Mm-hmm. And what was his straw man?
That like, you saying that Italians aren't white? Are you saying that British people aren't white? Are you blind? Are you stupid, Adam? How could you say that? Are you saying Europeans aren't white? No, that's what people in chat were saying, and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yes, he did. He can't. He was like, because I brought up like British actors that are black. What the fuck? Like Finn from Star Wars. What the fuck? Are you saying he's not British, or I don't know?
Maybe he would. I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, he doesn't strike me as white.
Anyway,
yeah.
So that was that. You can check it out on Think Club if you want to listen to that conversation. It's pretty entertaining, I think.
Yeah, it was fun.